Hey everyone, it's Jennifer Bro, your posh wanderlust luxury travel expert and your travel bestie. I'm here tonight to talk about travel to New York City. Now, last week I did mention traveling to New York City in the fall because it brings some extraness, if you will, some fabulous places to add on to New York City. And who doesn't love a little extra pumpkin spice? Okay, well, I don't, but I do love all the wonderful things, the beauty of it that fall does bring. So I love going in the fall. It's my favorite season, not for the pumpkin spice, but for the fall colors, the fall smell. I love the apple cider of it all. And so while had New York City on my mind, I thought I would talk about how to plan an autism friendly trip to New York City. So that's what I want to talk about tonight is an autism friendly, a neurodivergent friendly trip to New York City. We all see, now listen, I don't compare myself to my neighbors or the Joneses. I don't do that at all. But when I start seeing pictures for New York City, I do dream about going there. And I've been there several more times than my family has. But I have taken, when we were just a family of three, and we lived in Washington, D.C., we took the train over to New York City. So I have traveled with my eldest who has autism, anxiety, depression. He was suffering from seizure. I shouldn't say suffering from seizures, but he had seizure disorder at the time. Some of his synapses have healed over. And now that was before we added our youngest child, who also has has been diagnosed with neurodivergent disorders. So we'll make it up there one time with a family of four, but it's very, very different. As you know, each child, whether you have neurodivergent children or you don't, each child is different. So, but it had me dreaming about going to New York City. So it's been on my mind. So I thought that I would talk about it for our neurodivergent families as well. Because again, like I said, so if you missed the fall colors, the fall leaves, the things that I talked about for fall specifically, some of those will apply to families because I did talk about going to maybe ice skating if you want to do that in Bryant Park. If you want to go to hang out in the park and get something from Chelsea Market, and the kids can run around. You can buy an inflatable ball. Listen, just get that 99-cent beach ball from Walmart or wherever you get your inflatables. It could be Target or a local market. And it doesn't cost very lightweight your suitcase. And then you could inflate that while you're in the park and play catch or a quick game of volleyball or something. My kids can't track a ball, so an inflatable is so much better, or even a balloon. You can pack a balloon. That's how we do it here at my house with my kiddos because they cannot track a ball. So that's something that you can easily pack in your suitcase or your carry-on, and there's no weight to it, right? So won't cost you extra as far as weight, and it won't be heavy to cart around. So I encourage you to go back and watch that live stream. It's up on YouTube, and of course you can scroll back and watch that here. But I do want to get into about New York City for our kiddos. So the first thing I really want to talk about is the hop on, hop off bus. Now, what I like about this bus is that if you just do the loop around, it's usually an hour and a half or 2 hours. So if you never want to do anything else besides just get a tour of the city, it's narrated. And you can get on and off whenever you want or don't want. But if you need to take a break, it can get you there and you can just hop off. Now, I like that. So you can see that. Now, the hop on, hop off that we did, it had 3 different routes. So you could see the light. You could take a big, huge break if you did that in the morning or mid-morning. You had this huge, long, extended break, so away from all the people, and then you could go back at night. If you're going in the fall, it's getting dark. I'm in Florida, so we have a lot of sun, but we have noticed that instead of 8:30 or 9 o'clock, it's coming up on, it's getting dusk now and it's 7:20. So it's think up north, it's getting even dark earlier. So by the time you go, let's say you plan October to tie it into Halloween and the fall colors, you'll probably hit dark around 6:30. So you could catch that 6:30 flight, 6:30 flight, the 6:30 bus, right? And there'll be a long line. So maybe if there's a couple of you going together, whether it's spouse, whether it's friends with your child, one stand in line, hold your place, and listen, people stand close. Did you hear me? They stand close. It's very uncomfortable for me. Probably will be uncomfortable for your child, teen, adult child with you. So maybe one person walks around with them and you do be the placeholder, because I just didn't like people being all that close to me. So I kind of do one of these things that make me a little bit bigger with my hands on my hips, kind of turn sideways. So that gives me a lot more space, because I don't like that. And there's different cultures and different people from all parts of the world. So how they stand is different. Accept it. That's how it's going to be. But you don't have to. Like I said, I make myself look a little bit bigger. I stand with a wider stance. I have my hands on my hips, so my elbows are pointing out, maybe turn sideways, so that it automatically gives you more space. Okay, so hop on, hop off bus. If you think that that is still too many people for you, then hire a driver and do the tour. Now, it's not hop on, hop off, or you can make an agreement that they stop at a couple different stops, right? But with a driver, you can stop when you want to, your own private tour, get off when you want to, stop when you want to, and there's not a bunch of people with you. Yes, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you control the route. You aren't with a lot of people and stopping when you want to, or they have an itinerary put out and you can look at the different routes. They're going to go to about the same, all the same places. Now, I know a lot of people go to the Empire State Building. It's iconic. It's an iconic land place. And they want to see all of downtown, right? Manhattan. But have you considered maybe doing an alternative and go to the top of the Rock? I know Empire State Building, you might want to go there, but what I loved about Top of the Rock was it wasn't as many, it wasn't as long of a line. And I think we got to make a reservation. Empire State Building, you might get to do the same. They showed how the building was with the steel beams. We got to sit one and there was a photograph behind us as if we were making the building too. So it was a different kind of photo. And then you go out and so you get to hear videos, see videos of how it's being made. So you're in the living history of it all. And then you go out to the top, obviously, Top of the Rock, and take your pictures. And it's all scenery, seeing the downtown, getting a bird's eye view. But I loved it because it was a little bit of the history that you're experiencing as you're waiting in that line versus I'm in this line, it's hot, when are we going to get there? How long is this line? And all of those things that are coming up. Okay, this is where after 2 tips, I do my, I found my sign, my quick tip. So I want to talk about quick tips. I have a couple buckets, but I found one that's still kind of intact. So I get a fidget bucket. I have a couple of these that I keep in the house, and they come with a whole bunch of different things. So when I rotate, when I bought my second bucket, I try to look for things that a lot of them have the same things, but a lot of them have different things. And what I like about this, if I can get it open, I wanted to show you a few things from it. And I take this apart. Usually I deconstruct these buckets. I need to get my scissors. I deconstruct these buckets because I keep, I like to rotate fidgets. So they're not the same items that the kids are always playing with. And it keeps it fresh for them. So if you know that you're going to take a big trip, like going to New York City, man, I'm really struggling over here. I thought I was low techie. Now I might be low plastic opener. But anyway, if you can see on the cover, I'm going to do a close-up shot. You can see squeezies. I would recommend not really getting these if your kids are hard on toys, because I will tell you, the little netting breaks. Mine broke, I think, with my 2 kids within an hour. The parts come out. It's really gross to pick up. So depending on, where your kids are at. I have one child that's mentally 4, even though he's 14. So he's handicapped, mentally handicapped. But listen, he is hard on toys. So if you have kids, and it's not a boy thing, it's a kid thing, right? So if they are hard on toys, don't get those. Or if they happen to come with them anyway, don't give them to them. Just throw them away, because you'll have little beads everywhere. And it's not just beads. It's like little it's like with fluid or something. I don't know, but it's not the thing to give them. I will tell you that. I love these because they can chase the little balls around. So these are fabulous. Squeegee balls, or these make noise. Of course, that's not the thing to take into church, but I mean, my kids love it because it makes noise. So I love these things. These are great. They tie them into stuff, untie them. They're squishy. So all kinds of sorts of things, but we rotate those out again. But if you have a big trip coming up, maybe a new box of stuff, so that's some of the items are new to them. So that's my quick tip, is a fidget box. I have a whole drawer that as I'm going out someplace with them, I grab a couple new things. I'll show you some things later on in a different video. I showed you one of our newest ones, but I'll show you a fidget, some new ones that I like, depending on how old your children are and if they're safe for them or not. Okay, back to New York City. Okay, another thing that I like is a ferry ride. So if your kids are into boats, and you'll know if they do or not, you could always do a harbor cruise. That's fabulous. But if you want to go to Staten Island and the Statue of Liberty, take a ferry ride out. Now, some stop, some don't. So you have to really read the description of what it is, and you will know if it stops or not, right? But maybe they love having the breeze on their face. Maybe you're into it and they're not, but they like the ferry ride portion. So they can ride the ferry. There's usually room to move around. So I have a severe ADHD kid. So he likes movement. He doesn't want to have to sit down for too long. So if you have to sit down for takeoff, but then stand up by you and let him or her, I say him, I have 2 boys, do their thing. And then you can take in the sights. You can take your pictures. You can walk outside, walk around. It makes it flexible for you. And that's what you need. That's what we all need, right? Listen, my husband needs to walk around. So it's great for him too. He likes to go and take the kids. And I like being in the moment and just looking around too. So we all go take our pictures and enjoy that, feel the breeze. Unless it's cold out and snowy, then we don't want to do that. So you can do that. There's a Ellis Island Museum. So if you're into history, if your kids are into history, I have one that loves history. That's their thing, and they love that. And then the Statue of Liberty, and that's in high demand. So again, with all of these things, it's going to take planning. You want to have a plan, and of course, you don't want to overload your days. So depending on how many days are in there, maybe you have a day off where you just go to Times Square and you hang out there. You enjoy the lights of the night or the daytime with all the hustle and bustle, and get a hot dog from a street vendor or a pretzel. Maybe you eat downtown. There's a Lego store there. And every time I go, one time they had a plane made up. Gigantic, like almost as big as a house. Okay, maybe not that big, but the width or the length, I'm sorry, it was, I don't even know, half of a football field. When I took my son there, I forget what was there. But again, they always have these huge displays. That's something to see in Times Square, besides the people, which they probably don't care about. Now, one caution, you will see characters in these, they're adults, in Elmo costume or a cowboy costume or My Little Pony. If you take a picture with them, they want to be paid. They want to be paid. So that's great. You want to take the picture, but I just want to warn you up front because we didn't know it. And it's not $1. Plan on like $5. But I will tell you this, 2 will try to rush in so that they both get paid. So if you don't, just say no. But if you start getting your camera out and your kids over there, another person will rush in so that you have to pay both people. So I just want to caution you. I mean, it's great. Go get a picture with Elmo, life-size Elmo, or life-size fill in the little kitty or Hello Kitty. But just know it's not free. They want to be paid, and more people will try to get into the picture. Okay, so that's Times Square. Now, I will tell you that Broadway shows, they have a lot of kids shows. I always like staying in Times Square because it's right there, and then I can, and there's the hop on, hop off bus is right there. But if you don't mind walking a little, you can get a little bit cheaper for 1 or 2 blocks off of Times Square and be just as convenient for you. I like staying there so I could open my curtain and I'm there because I don't go very often. I go, a couple times, every 4 years or so, I'm going to New York City. So if you only are going to go once, try and, if you can, stay in Times Square or a couple of streets over, and you'll be just as convenient. But a lot of the tours depart from near Times Square. So if you don't mind walking a couple of blocks, just do that. Broadway, of course, you have The Lion King. You have, I'm trying to think what, Annie. You have some of those, maybe even off-Broadway shows. Again, you'll want to have a plan. Not saying plan every minute, but have a plan. That way you know what to anticipate. Don't overschedule because you never know what's going to happen. So maybe plan something in the morning or something in the afternoon. Or it would be nice to go see, or if you did the hop on, hop off bus, maybe make it for 2 days. So if you plan to do the morning and then the evening, but if the evening you're too tired, or if it doesn't work out, or someone's just really exhausted, then you still have another day to do the evening, or a different cycle like Brooklyn instead of just Manhattan, you see. So you could do that loop instead on a different day. And it only costs like $10 more or $20 more to add on a day versus then buying a brand new day. So maybe get it for 3 days and make sure you get all the loops and all the boroughs included and the night, and then it's less expensive. And sometimes they include some of the museums in that for a discount or for free. Like the harbor cruise that I was talking about, the ferry out to Ellis Island. Sorry, I had a brain cramp there. Sometimes that's included or a discount. So buying a couple extra days, it's only $10, $20 each day, not just total. And then those things are also included. So that might be worth it. And then you can use that for a couple days. Again, but you have to know your family and know what you want to do, what your family, and again, what your family's capable of, what they want to do, what's your pace for the vacation, and what's the priority. What do you really want to see on this trip? And then if you're going in fall, throw in some of those fall things that you want to do too, that you want to include. So don't forget those fall items as well. Okay, so that is New York City. You got to really consider your family, your children, your must-haves, and maybe somebody wants to go see the morning show because they want to be on the Today Show waving and, hey, I'm from Colorado Springs or wherever you're from. And maybe one of you wants to go see a Broadway show, but not everybody. So you take turns getting to see what you want to see. So I would just think about that. Okay, so that's about, oh, hey, thanks for joining me. So that's about traveling to see New York City if you have a neurodivergent family member, but also remembering those fall things that you can see in New York City too. Now, I do want to mention, so we're talking about neurodivergent family members. If you are in the Tampa Bay area, Amazing Kids Therapy, that's Amazing Kids, KIDZ, is having a little fair, if you will. I'm having my Travel is Possible book available for signing on September 21st. So they're open from 10 to 12. And there's a book signing going on about this little boy, the local area. So I don't know if he wrote it or his mom wrote it, but it's about a little boy with autism. And so I think they're going to have a book reading out there. It'd be great if you came and joined us. I'll be there, and having my book Travel is Possible available for purchase. So come on out September 21st from 10 to 12. They're located in Valrico, Amazing Kids Therapy. So I hope you're able to come out that day. So this is going to wrap it up for us, but now I'm on YouTube. Of course, you're following me here. I hope you follow and like. I am Jenifer Bro. Remember, I'm not too techie tech, but I'm out here and we're doing our thing. And I'm hoping that you have amazing travels, planning that travel trip wherever it is. And we don't say bucket list here, but on our dream list, and wishing you safe travels wherever your heart takes you. Until Thursday, I'll be back on Thursday. I think I'll be a little bit later, around 7:30. I have an interview, so I'll be on a podcast. So Thursday, I'll be a little bit later, but I will see you on Thursday. Till then, bye, friends.